हेलो 9th क्लास स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ आर यू। आप लोग कैसे हो। आज मैं आप लोगों के लिए साइंस का लेक्चर फोर्स एंड लॉ ऑफ मोशंस लेकर आया हूं, जो आपके स्टडी में आपकी सहायता करेगा। आप हमारा चैनल पाठ सेतु को सब्सक्राइब करना और बेल आइकन दबाना न भूलिए। ऐसा करने से आपके पास हमारा नेक्स्ट लेक्चर फास्ट पहुंचेगा। थैंक यू। बच्चों, एज वी नो दैट force is important factor, so after applying the force there are so many changes taking place. Here we will see about force and laws of motions given by Newton's. Now we'll understand what is force and how after applying the force things are getting changed. So first we will think, why does the speed of an object change with time? Do all motion require a cause? And what is the nature of cause applied on object? So first we will see here push or pull. This is considered as force. This is the initial definition of the force. So we can just define it. Force is an external cause. When applied, try to change the state of object. That is, objects are always in either motion or in rest. So after application of force, the direction, the shape and size of the object also getting changed, and after applying the force, the magnitude of velocity will also change. So for getting or calculating the force, we are writing formula F is equal to ma. M is the mass of the object and A is acceleration after applying the force on the object. The SI unit of force is Newton, and other units like dyne etc. is also there for force. There are two types of force: balanced force and unbalanced force. Balanced force, when applied on an object will be in the equilibrium position. As you can see in the picture here, two boys are applying force on big ball and ball is not moving, it is in equilibrium position. And in another picture you just see one man is pulling an object and another is pushing the object, and because of pulling and pushing, objects changing its position means it is in motion in the direction in which force is applied, and this is example of unbalanced force. Now we'll talk about first law of motion. Newton's have given three laws of motion, that is first law, second law and third law of motion. Here we'll discuss first law of motion, that is when an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change that state by an applying of force. जब कोई वस्तु के ऊपर हम फोर्स लगाते हैं तो वह अपनी स्टेट को चेंज करती है, अदरवाइज इट्स wants to be in same state in which it was. जब कोई वस्तु के ऊपर हम फोर्स लगाते हैं तभी वह अपनी अवस्था को चेंज करती है, अदरवाइज वह वस्तु उसी अवस्था में बनी रहना चाहती है जिस अवस्था में होती है। जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई कार अगर रुकी हुई है तो वह रुकी ही रहेगी जब तक उस पर हम कोई फोर्स न लगाएं, या अगर कोई कार चल रही है तो चलती ही रहेगी जब तक हम उस पर कोई फोर्स रुकने के लिए न लगाएं। तो दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ लॉज ऑफ फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ न्यूटन, and in other words we can say that all objects resist a change in their state of motion in a qualitative way. The tendency of undisturbed objects to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia, and this is why the first law of motion is also known as the law of inertia. So we can just understand this law of inertia with certain examples. First example is when we are sitting in the car and car is moving, when driver is applying brake to stop the car, then our lower part of the body also getting stopped with the car, but upper part of body will be continuing in motion, so will move forward, means upper part of the body will move forward and it will get hurt by seat which is in front of them. Other way we can say that when car is starting from rest, in that case our lower part is coming first in motion in respect of upper parts, and that time upper part is in rest position. So when car is starting, our upper part is getting towards back. So these are the example of law of inertia. Now we'll see here relation between inertia and mass. So just we'll define inertia. There is a resistance offered by an object to change its state of motion. If it is at rest, it tends to remain at rest. If it is in moving, it tends to keep moving, and this property of an object is called its inertia. Means अगर कोई वस्तु रेस्ट में है तो रेस्ट में रहना चाहेगी, या मोशन में है तो मोशन में ही रहना चाहेगी। यह फोर्स का अपोज करेगी, एंड इस प्रकार के अपोजिशन ऑफ फोर्स की जो प्रॉपर्टी है ऑब्जेक्ट की, उसे हम इनर्शिया कहेंगे। डू ऑल बॉडीज हैव द सेम इनर्शिया? क्या जितनी भी चीजें हैं वे सभी सेम इनर्शिया रखती हैं, या उनकी इनर्शिया डिफर करती है? तो हमारा आंसर ये है कि सभी वस्तुएं अलग अलग इनर्शिया रखती हैं। यह डिपेंड करता है उसके मास के ऊपर। इनर्शिया ऑब्जेक्ट के मास के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, न कि उसकी वेलोसिटी के ऊपर। सो वी कैन से हियर वी नो दैट इट इज easier to push an empty box than a box full of books. Similarly, if we kick a football, it flies away, but if we kick a stone of the same size with equal force, it hardly moves. With this, we'll see here one question based on inertia and mass. Question is, which of the following cards has the greatest inertia? Option 1 is 1 kg mass moving at 5 meter per second, 2 kg mass moving at 3 meter per second, 3 kg mass moving at 1 meter per second, and last is 4 kg mass moving at 1 meter per second. Just you can think, but we'll discuss here result, that is the D. The cart with 4 kg mass is having greater inertia because speed is not important when determining inertia. Inertia is depending upon mass. So our answer is fourth option, that is 4 kg mass moving at 1 meter per second. We'll discuss here about second law of motion. Before second law of motion, we'll talk about some concept which is related to second law of motion. So here we'll see, when an unbalanced external force acts on an object, its velocity changes, and that is the object gets an acceleration. हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जब किसी वस्तु पर अनबैलेंस फोर्स अप्लाई की जाती है तो उसकी वेलोसिटी चेंज होती है। वेलोसिटी चेंज होने की वजह से उसके एक्सेलरेशन में चेंजेस आता है, जो इस प्रकार भी हम कह सकते हैं, the acceleration of an object depends on the force applied to it, and the impact produced by the object depends on their mass and velocity. इस चीज को हम एक उदाहरण के माध्यम से, एग्जाम्पल के माध्यम से समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। A heavy truck having low speed may kill the man when met with accident. Similarly, a small bullets of high velocity kill the man when hit him. So in first case, just you see, mass of the truck is heavy but speed is low, and in second case, mass of the bullet is small but velocity is high, and in both the cases we'll see here impact is high. So with this we can understand impact produced by the object is depending upon mass and velocity, and we can see here momentum, the product of mass and velocity of an object is called momentum. So if we will see here, the momentum P of an object is defined as the product of its mass m and velocity v, that is P is equal to mv. Momentum has both direction and magnitude, so it is classified as vector quantity, and its SI unit is kg meter per second. If it is therefore clear that a force also produces a change of momentum of an object. Now we'll discuss about statement of second law. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of motion. So we'll just see this with the help of mathematical calculation. Here we'll assume an object of mass m is moving along a straight line with an initial velocity u. It is uniformly accelerated to velocity v in time t. T be the application of an constant force F through the time t. Just we will see here the initial and final momentum of the object will be P1 is equal to mu and P2 is equal to mv respectively. So the change in momentum is proportional to P2 minus P1, and after the putting the value of P1 and P2 will get m minus mv minus mu, where m is common in both sides, so m is taken out, and here we'll be getting m into v minus u, and we know that the rate of change of momentum, that is m v minus u by t, is equal to or proportional to the force applied on an object. So we can write here A proportional to m into v minus u by t, and ultimately we will write here F is equal to k m v minus u by t, where k is constant and the value of k is 1, and v minus u by t is nothing but acceleration. So this expression can be written as F is equal to ma, where F is force, m is mass, and a is acceleration of the object. And also we can write force as a vector quantity and its SI unit is Newton. Now we'll see one numerical here based on second law of motion. A constant force acts on an object of mass 5 kg for a duration of 2 seconds. It increases the object's velocity from 3 meter per second to 7 meter per second. Find the magnitude of the applied force. Now, if the force was applied for a duration of 5 seconds, what would be the final velocity of the object? So, here we will go for solution. We have been given that u is equal to 3 meter per second and v is equal to 7 meter per second, t is equal to 2 seconds and mass is 5 kg. This question is in two parts. In first part, we will calculate the force, and in second part, velocity of the object when force is applied for 5 seconds. So, for first calculation, we will see F is equal to m v minus u by t formula. And after substituting the data, we calculate F force is equal to 10 Newton. Now, if this force is applied for a duration of 5 seconds, then the final velocity can be calculated by formula V is equal to U plus Ft by m. Actually, original formula is V is equal to U plus At. Here we have replaced A as F by m. So it has become V is equal to U plus Ft by m. So by putting data in this formula, we are getting the result 13 meter per second. Now we will discuss about third law of motion. Third law of motion is stated that when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object instantaneously exerts a force back on the first. Means जब एक ऑब्जेक्ट दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट पे फोर्स लगाता है तो दूसरा ऑब्जेक्ट भी एक फोर्स लगाता है जो पहले के अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में होता है. These two phases are always equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, and these forces act on different objects and never on the same object. There is a pair of forces and not just one force or single force. So we can write these forces as F1 is equal to minus F2. Minus is for indicating direction opposite to first force. The two opposing forces are also known as action and reaction forces. We just see here with the help of example, when a gun is fired, it exerts a forward force on the bullet and the bullet exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on the gun. This results in the recoil of the gun, since the gun has a much greater mass than the bullet. The acceleration of the gun is much less than the acceleration of the bullet. Here we'll see in the picture a rocket is moving in upward direction and releasing the smokes in the form of jet, which is pushing the rocket in upward direction by creating upthrust on the rocket. So there are two opposite forces acting. So we can again see F1 is equal and opposite to the F2. कंजर्वेशन ऑफ मोमेंटम, यह संवेग संरक्षण के नियम के नाम से भी जाना जाता है हिंदी में. सपोज टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स, that is two balls A and B, having mass ma and mv, are traveling in the same direction along a straight line at different velocities, that is ua and ub respectively, and there are no other external unbalanced forces acting on them. Let ua is greater than ub and the two balls collide with each other. During collision, which lasts for a time t, the ball A exerts a force FAB on ball B and the ball B exerts a force FBA on ball A according to Newton's third law of motion. And also assume VA and VB are the velocities of the two balls A and B after the collision respectively. Momentum before collision FAB is equal to MAUA plus MAVA divided by T, and momentum after collision FBA is equal to MBUV plus MBVB by T. So as per Newton's third law, we can write here FAB is equal to minus FBA, and after replacing FAB and minus FBA, will get MAUA plus MAVA by T is equal to MBUB plus MBVB by T, and we'll just transfer the things. So we'll get the result MAUA plus MAVA is equal to minus MBUB plus MBVB, and ultimately we can write MAUA plus MBUB is equal to MAVA plus MBVB. So here we can say momentum before collision is equal to momentum after collision, is true for conservation of momentum. We observe that the total momentum of the two balls remains unchanged or conserved provided no other external force acts on the object. Now we'll do some numericals. First numerical is a motor car is moving with a velocity of 108 km per hour and it takes 4 seconds to stop after the brakes are applied. Calculate the force exerted by the brakes on the motor car if its mass along with the passenger is 1000 kg. So we'll go for solution. The initial velocity of the motor car is u, that is equal to 108 km per hour, and we need to convert this 108 km per hour into meter per second. So after conversion we are getting equivalent value, that is 30 meter per second, and the final velocity of the motor car v is equal to 0. Why? Because car is getting stopped at last. So the total mass of the motor car along with its passenger is equal to 1000 kg, and the time taken to stop the motor car is t is equal to 4 seconds. So we'll apply the formula F is equal to m v minus u by t, and after application we'll get resultant as 7500 Newton with minus sign. The negative sign tells us the force exerted by the brakes is opposite to the direction of motion of the motor. Now we'll do second numerical, that is a girl of mass 40 kg jumps with a horizontal velocity of 5 meter per second onto a stationary cart with frictionless wheels. The mass of the cart is 3 kg. So we have to calculate what is the her velocity as that cart starts moving. Assume that there is no external unbalanced force working in the horizontal direction. So initially cart is in rest position, stationary position, and girl is jumping on that with the velocity of 5 meter per second. So we'll go for solution now. Let v be the velocity of the girl on the cart as the cart starts moving. The total momentum of the girl and cart before the interaction is 40 kg into 5 meter per second plus 3 kg into 0 meter per second. 0 is the velocity of cart. Initial velocity of the cart is 0 because it is in stationary position. So we'll write total momentum after the interaction, that is 40 plus 3 into v. So finally we'll get 43 kg meter per second. And according to the law of motion of conservation of momentum, the total momentum is conserved during the interaction, and that is equal to 43V is equal to 200 as per law of conservation. So here we can write V is equal to 200 by 43 and that is equal to 4.65 meter per second. That is the velocity of both gulls and cart. The gull on cart would move with a velocity of 4.65 meter per second in the direction in which the gull jumped. This is the last question, last numerical. So question is, a force of 5 Newton gives a mass m1, an acceleration of 10 meter per second square and a mass m2, an acceleration of 20 meter per second square. So we'll calculate what is acceleration would it give if both the masses are tied together. Solution is, we have m1 is equal to F by A1 and m2 is equal to F by A2. Here A1 is 10 meter per second square and A2 is 20 meter per second square and F is equal to force is equal to 5 Newton. Thus, after applying this value to the formula, m1 is 0.5 kg and m2 is 0.25 kg we are getting. If the two masses were tied together, the total mass m would be 0.75 kg. So, for calculating the acceleration produced in the combined mass by the force 5 Newton would be A is equal to F by m, and after substituting the value of F and m, will get 6.67 meter per second square acceleration. Thank you. With this, we have completed this lesson, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel and also sharing this video to needy students, and write your comments in the comment box about this video, and if you have some doubt you will write in comment box. I will try to solve your problem, your doubts. Thank you.